Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Black Forest Duel between K, playing as second Marine, and he's going up against MrBoxhead, playing 17Y, which is trash div. So let's go through the deck reviews and then we'll get back to it. Right, so this is the deck review for MrBoxhead. He's playing 17Y. 17Y, would you play this? Haha, ho ho, hee hee. Tough div to play properly. The T64Rs are probably a little too expensive, frankly. But yeah, essentially you just do these kind of, I would call them flying columns, but they crawl because they are slow, of a bunch of tanks, right? And then once you take that zone, you flood it with the Reservist and the ATGM, and then you go do a flying column somewhere else. The tanks are heat, so they're not good at close range, which is really weird, actually. But yeah, so 3 cards of supply. I mean, he's got plenty of RT, but I don't know if that's necessary. The 3 cards of supply, I mean, that's a lot of RT. Is it because these are 1-point slots? Yes, it is. This thing kind of sucks. People keep going on about the fact that it's got a better splash characteristic than the... As in, like, the splash is wider. But at the end of the day, if you can pay less money for something that shoots twice as far and actually does more HE, then you should probably do that. You know, aims faster. So, yeah, this just needs to have way higher HE. It doesn't make any sense, man. So 120mm mortar does 1.53, and I guess, but like, basically the whole point of this is that the explosive filler in this is a lot more than is in the one on the left, because it's a mortar. So it doesn't go as far, but it's got, you know, it's chunky bomb basically. But the one on the left has a higher HE value. It doesn't make any sense. This should be like 5. Yeah. So 3 cards of supply for the RT. This CV instead of this one because it's faster, I guess. I mean, it is. Sure, why not? Not sure you need the 3 cards of supply, to be honest. It's a 2-pointer. Yeah, Reservist is really good. 8 dudes for 35 points with 15-point transport is very, very powerful. They used to be 30. Grenade launcher, Motostraki BMP1, just because you need some ATGMs. I'd be tempted to bring this one, because it actually does something. It's got smoke and so on, and your tanks don't have smoke. So it's nice to bring the smoke for your tanks. This is the anti-infantry one. This is also the anti-infantry one. Have these got... Alright. This might actually not be bad now because SMGs are good. But it is reservist and they cost the same, so... And you've still got the RPOs, so it is safer to bring this one. These guys can be good, but it's a 3-point slot and you sort of need everything else that's here. You don't have the infantry ATGM, so... That's bad. Spoke about this. This thing sucks. These were at 1 vet and they were really good, and then they removed the vet, okay, and then the RT rework happened and they became sort of bad anyway, so yeah, you can bring it and put it on counter battery at the back. Honestly, given that you've got this and you've got this, it might be worth just doing that. Because they are still powerful, just make sure you've got a CV with them. But, you know, the counter-argument is, well, look, I could get all 4 of these for less than the price of 2 of these. So either way works. This is really slow. The missile's really slow. This is really slow on the missile, but you don't get the good one. This has been priced into obsolescence. Although, does it have a setup time and a pack-up time? If it doesn't, it's probably pretty good now. Basically, it's a siege gun, but because it's also a howitzer, it's useless because it's been priced into obsolescence. This tank... So, the T64Rs are heat, so they're good at this range, but the closer they get, they don't do any more damage, which is kind of annoying. You do want a card of the T10Ms, and the reason is these are kinetic. Sometimes you need to get in close, and also they're really good against infantry because it's double KPVT. So I'd recommend a card of those. And just buy, like, you know, 1 of these for every 2 of these or something. This is your best tank, but it's a CV tank. So I was bringing 2 cards of these, but yeah, you can bring this if you want. Because the whole point is that you want CBs with your flying columns. So yeah, I think it makes sense to bring the cheaper one. This is so you can see with your flying column, or crawling column, I suppose. Reservist, Reservist, okay. Yeah, same. This is so you can get rocket healers. Alright, yeah. It's nice to have the ground surveillance radar. And they don't have anti-tanks, so you don't really want them out at the start anyway. Yeah, this is all good, although I don't know about this. I guess it's for when you take the ground, you just flood it with these. But you might be better off with 2 cards of Osas or something. The Rocket 3 is bigger rockets, so it's probably better. And then, yeah, I mean, you need as many fighters as you can get, really, because your AA is bad. This is a really good plane, by the way. People like this, because it drops from high, it can kill tanks and stuff, but I like the cost-effectiveness of this. But you can't really afford to, because if you get rid of these, then you've only got 1 card of planes, and, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like making the best of a bad situation. It's not the best deck ever. I'd be interested to see how it plays out against his opponent, K, who's played Second Marine. I have a almost 3-hour long guide to Second Marine. So I've just watched that, right? He's taken a lot of inspiration, or at least he's arrived at the same conclusions in a lot of cases. I like the SWIP AT. I think it's probably better than the Harrier HE if you've got to choose between them. I'd probably bring the SWIP AT. And you don't really need these M63s. You'd really want the gunners because you don't have any cheap infantry. So does he not? Oh my gosh! What? He doesn't bring the small. What's wrong with this guy? Like what? This fires at infantry and at vehicles. It's like one of the best cards in the game. So like what? I mean, you can bring this if you want, but you need this as well. So get rid of that 30 cal. And the next thing is, like, so you need cheap infantry, because all your infantry is so expensive. So you want the gunners instead of the rifleman law. I'll bring them at 2 vet. So you don't, I mean, they already come at 1 vet, so this is like 1 vet in them anyway. This I'd leave at 1 vet probably. But yeah, I 2 vet all of them, apart from the dragon, I think. 2 cards of TOE2s. 4 CVs is too low. Get rid of the card of TOE2s, bring the USMC leader. I bring 2 cards of that. Oh, wait, what? He does actually have a CV here, so maybe you don't need this. Is he bringing the rocket helos? He's not bringing the rocket helos anywhere. So get rid of a card of... Like, this is just crap. Get that. Listen, you know, I honestly don't think there should be deck building in this game. There you go, I said it. Toad is better because there's so few choices in these divisions that there really is just a right way to do it in most cases and a wrong way to do it. So if there's not going to be a phase system, it's like, well, what's the point in having the choices to begin with? All you're doing is making it so this guy's like rank 100 or something. It's like 136, something like that last time I played against him. Get this instead of that and just evac it as soon as the first missile fires. Because like, if you want to kill infantry, well, that's what this is for. So pick one, and then you know, you could keep the HE one, I guess. Although the point of this is it's anti-helo for the start. And yeah, the AA helos are dog because they've got less range than every other AA helo, so there's no point bringing them. Yeah. Like, why not this, which carries 10,000 supply? Why 3 cards of supply instead of 2? I mean, it can be harder to micro, I suppose. Do you not want the 50-point CV instead of the 90-point CV? So you can buy 2 at the start, 100 points. Yeah. Yeah, and we got 3 AP left over somehow, so... Well, you can bring the Harrier HE if you really want. I bring the Seed and it's crap, so I understand if you don't want to bring that, because it's not very good. Oh, it's because of the arty, wasn't it? Yeah, the Cat Fey for close ranges, right, and killing infantry and stuff is very, very useful. These, like, you need to bring this. It goes at 130 kilometers an hour. But, yeah, it is what it is. And now he's still got 2 AP. I don't know where all this AP keeps coming from. That's a really annoying amount of AP, apparently. Everything costs 3. Oh, okay. So... Well, they're both 2 AP slots. Yeah, you want the DAS rockets, I think. And then, yeah, then you can bring your supply healer if you want. Just to ferry stuff to and from your Lark. But honestly, like, you don't need 3 cards of supply. So, I do recommend watching the guide. Because I go through this in great detail. You see I bring 6 CVs in the Tab, and the rest of it's pretty similar, to be honest. I was trying the Super Cobra Seed. I'll admit that the Harriers, it might honestly just be worth not bringing them. It's just there's nothing else you can really bring, because you only get these tanks, you don't get any more. You don't get a second card of any of them, so... Anyway, let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, this guy, yeah, his deck... So the second Marine's main problem is that its units are very expensive. So at the start of the game, particularly in 1v1, you're very weak, because you don't have very many units. And so you can't really cover your ground, and you're very vulnerable to kind of rush strats. Early game pressure, in general, you're just not very good at. So you've got 3 units you should be bringing to help with that. The sort of Willie's Jeep 50 cal Special Forces thing, which goes 130 kilometers an hour, it's like 40 points. The Assault Men Small, which is one of the best... It's hard to micro, but it is one of the better units in the game. And the USMC Gunner. He brings none of those. So, as you can see, he just doesn't have many units. So yeah, with that in mind, looking at his deployment, he's trying to rush with a div that has a weak early game. So we got Force Recon coming up here. Scout Snipers. I'll show you his rank at the end. You'll be like, oh, that's a high rank. Because I've played against him and I was, I was like, whoa, this guy's pretty good. This micro's good. Engineers here, so if somebody drives a vehicle up, you can't do anything. Because he doesn't bring the gunners, so that's his cheapest infantry. It's a guy without AT. And he's doing a helo rush with the USMC Aero Rifleman. Dragon. Very slow. Very expensive. Sorry. Expensive CV instead of the cheap one. And only one of the CVs, right? At least he's getting the +2 first. Some more recon without any AT. Stinger. And the expensive tank. Switching to his opponent, 70Y sucks, but I mean, if this is the kind of deployment you're up against, you got a pretty good chance, in my opinion. So, got some Reservist Razvedka. And Svedka, yeah, you want to sort of like shift queue that back to here so that it can sit in the bush and, you know, shoot ATGMs down the road. Basically, this div is slow and it wants to buy a bunch of T-64Rs and just run at somebody. And he's got a pretty good chance on this map if he fights... Well, actually, does he? Usually you'd expect Second Marine to win this matchup because his tank... It doesn't cost that much more. They've got the same range, and it's got 23 pen, and it's got smoke. So, big difference here. So he should be fine. But, and red, basically red should get this at the start, because that's his zone. He might lose it to this rush. And so then the fight happens here, generally. And if you fight in the town, well, US Marines are good in the town as well, although it doesn't bring the Cat Fey either. Really interesting deck. So yeah, we got some Strelas, Mayuka, couple T-64Rs. It just takes ages to buy them all. They don't have smoke and stuff. It's kind of hard to use them. Honestly, if I was So you do have to defend this as red. So what do? Just assault the town with the tanks? Or I guess you just like mega pressure with all the tanks. Looks like he's going hard on center, like he's really expecting an attack here. And he's right, there is going to be an attack there, so that's not unloading. Recon, sorry, not recon, AA, Mayuka, which hasn't been pathed. You'd put it here, basically. Or you can... Oh, no, hang on, it's going around here. My bad. Yeah, just keep in mind it's going to go this way. Like, it'd be better to put it there, because then you're using the max range. Recon deployed Helo, and then, yeah, these BTR-40s have a little bit of... Oh, it's not the right one. Sorry, there's one that actually can shoot against Helos, but it's not this one. It's the BTR-40A, which isn't in this div, I think. So, yeah, he's trying to get to places. Let's cast the game. Right, so they're off. And it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joiner in the channel. They do not open with a 300-point Tomcat, forming 1/5 of their deployment, because if they do, I'm going to reach through the screen and throttle them to death. They also get a Steam key for my game, Hearse Hero, which is available on Steam. You can play the game however you want. My job is to point out how you can play in a way that maximizes your chances of victory. I get a lot of people who are like, I just intentionally do it wrong because I don't want to play properly because I find that boring. That's fine, it's your copy of the game. But I will point it out because what else is there to say? So, yeah, you don't want to be opening, right? The start of the game is about cost efficiency and making sure all your bases are covered, right? So if you're opening, if 1/5 of your deployment is on a plane, that isn't going to do anything. Like, you'd be better off if you're worried about, oh, I need to defend my helicopters from planes. Okay, that's a standard worry. Like, honestly, I don't think you should be doing a healer rush anyway, but go in the building so you don't die. Then you would open 2 rocket Harriers. That's what they're in the deck for. Because... Right, so... Because, like, so you saw how we strafed that. Well, if it was a rocket Harrier, it'd be, 2 of those is cheaper than 1 of these. They can still fight a plane, because there's 2 of them. And they would have more anti-ground capability than this is having. If you see that the enemy's bought a 300-point Tomcat at the start of the game, don't buy a fighter. Because you've just made this pay for itself, right? This is like one of the best fighters in the game. There are some better fighters, but it's one of the best fighters in the game. And if you buy a fighter to try and fight it, well, chances are your fighter's going to lose. And you won't have accomplished anything. So yeah, you don't want to buy a fighter to try and sort of deal with it, right? Is that CV coming over here? It is. I think it'd be better to buy another one for there and then use this over here because you get the smoke mortar and you smoke the corner. But he's not got the smoke mortar, it's going to take him a while to clear this out. His opponent hasn't capped Anna yet either, so pretty even on that. And yeah, as second Marine, you shouldn't be rushing people. I understand that you have a powerful heli rush, but it's actually not that good. And your units are very expensive. Like, look, he just doesn't have anything on... Do you notice there's just way more red than blue? So that's for 2 reasons. One is that blue's units are a lot more expensive in this case. And the other is that, his rush didn't work out and everybody died. So you don't really want to be rushing a second Marine. I understand that there's a funny rush you can do with the Scout Helis and the Bronco thing and the Harriers. But generally, you want to play it slow at the start and play for the middle game when your tanks come online. And if you're against a div that's lighter than you, and 17Y is a rush div, like a tank rush div, basically, you really don't want to be rushing into the rusher because defending is more effective than attacking. This was a nice idea, but there's a hill here, so we couldn't actually see that, so now it's going to die. Defending's easier than attacking, so instead of rushing into him and you just sort of, you know, sit in your place and he's rushing into you and you just kill him all. I do like doing stuff like this. I mean, that's 50 points. This is 160, so if it kills it, it's just 3x its value. You should always try and do something like that, in my opinion. It depends what div you're playing. If you're playing 1st Cavalry or 3rd Armoured or something, it's probably not worth it. You just want to grind frontline, grind frontline, grind frontline. But for the most part, there's usually something like this that you can quite cheaply and effectively... it's like that just 3x'd its value. Somebody did point out to me, look, it's not destruction, kills aren't the only thing that matters. And that's true, but kills do matter a lot, because if you just have more stuff on your field than the opponent, then your chances of winning are pretty high. I think in most cases, the guy with the higher KD tends to win. So it does matter. So it looks like the game's slowing down a bit now. Red should really be turning the screws on the 2nd Marine player, because he's got the weaker late game. And essentially you want to keep buying those T-64Rs. I'd get this OSA over to like here, because that's where the bomber's going to be, right? Let's move this Reservisti over. You can walk these guys across. You've got the T-64Rs. The main issue he's got is that he doesn't have any smoke. And he doesn't have any smoke on his tanks. So not only does he not have it on his, you know, smoke mortar or whatever, doesn't have it on his tank, so this thing is just going to absolutely mess him up, because he just can't really get to it. So you need the smoke, really. In the meantime, blue is very determined to attack here. So I don't know if red can see any of that. Oh yeah, he can. So he wants to keep reinforcing. The phalangers aren't good at close ranges. The M60 should just whack it. So you want a T-64R or the T-10M, because the T-64R's heat. I used to work with a guy who would always pronounce his T's like that. It wasn't heat, it was heat. Heat. I don't know how, because I've got the pop filter on the mic, so I don't know if it's coming through. I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'm a Spurg myself, so I shouldn't be too harsh, but it was like, man, this guy is... Anyway, so instead of waiting for the recon or anything, or waiting for the smoke, he's just going to walk towards the TOW 2 and get shot. So, this is why I'm not in the army. That's you. That's you, if you sign up. Hey, go check that with your face. Oh, you died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, so we can see that, so we got it with the bomber. Frankly, not too bad an idea, but you would expect the Tomcat to be up, so maybe not a good idea. I think he would have been better off just buying ground stuff and waiting for him to push and then whacking him, but... I mean, he got away with it just fine, and now, you know, he got the kill, he didn't lose anything, now he's got the bomber. This is a really good unit for the forest. He did sort of send it like that, and it got shot a bit, but... Yeah, in the forest it's amazing, because it's got the RPO and it's got the RPG, so you can't really surprise it. And it's got Mil-Pol, so it helps the military police, so it helps the other infantry, if there were to be other infantry. And it's got security, so when it stood still, it's got good optics. Now, interestingly enough, if there's ground surveillance radar in here, and nothing in there, a recon unit here won't be spotted if it's in the trees. It'll be spotted going in, but if it's in the trees, it won't be spotted. So I had a game like that yesterday, and I was like, what the hell is going on? How does he see me? I have GSR here, and I have GSR here. And yeah, he was just sat there. Yeah. Anyway. So, honestly, I'd go easy on the planes because of the Tomcat. He should die here, really. Because that's 6 long-range missiles. Alright. Okay. Like, you want to be buying ground stuff and just whacking him. You need some smoke, because you can't push without the smoke because of the mortar. I mean, he got the TOW, right? But would have been a more cost-effective solution to buy a 70-point smoke mortar than a 285-point plane to do that. And then, yeah, you might even need 2 smoke mortars in this instance, and you would smoke like there, and then you'd push up. Oh, there might be somebody here, so you'd smoke like around here, And then around here, because there should be a TOW2 in here to shoot across. There isn't, but there should be. And then you put a recon it, like this isn't seeing anything, so you would put him here so he can see a bit, and even try and get him up to there, see a bit better. That's way too far away to do anything. It's not going to help with this fight. He has the Lav at, and that would have been a better purchase than this in this instance, because it can move. It does die more easily because it's a vehicle instead of an infantry team, so it dies in one hit, and it's only got mediocre stealth, but I prefer the Humvee TOW2 for that reason, but it fires 2 instead of 1, because it's got 2 barrels. It doesn't fire them at the same time. Oh, he's bought it. So, as you can see, it's got 2 tubes on it. And so it fires one and then the other. The issue is it's got mediocre stealth. But it's got 2 front armor, but it's only got 8 HP. But the 2 front armor makes it a little bit survivable to tank rounds. But the 8 HP means, like, this will one-shot it. But this doesn't have a lot of range. He needs infantry recon here. Like, this guy's only good optics, and frankly, the whole point of him, like, these should just be swapped. Oh, you know, you can move them both up through the forest, right? So, yeah, blue needs to buy an Eyehawk at this point. He can't just let the enemy just constantly hit him. And red, like, he hasn't reinforced this a whole lot. Oh, he's bringing the T-64R now. But, yeah, this is looking a bit dicey. That's, yeah. Like, basically, you should just have one here. Like, this is enough. This is not ATGM territory. This is tank gun territory, because if you're in tank gun range, the tank wins. Generally speaking, obviously, if you're not looking, you're not got a recon, you get side shot, whatever. But generally, the tank's gonna. It's like that. The tank one shots you. The ATGM doesn't one shot you, and it's slow, and it's got to get all the way there. So he's doing some smoke in here. It's good to see smoke, but like, what's, because that's gonna fade. Like, what's the? You gotta smoke with a purpose. So if you're worried about this, then yeah, smoke that. Although that won't actually work because it's a high rise and the smoke goes through it and lands at the bottom. So, so yeah, you'd want to smoke like here. Here would be the place to smoke, because generally people have stuff back here shooting you as you come up the hill. Wait, does he have any recon? No, no recon. I suppose there's this, but it's can't see. No recon and no tanks. Because he had 1 tank and it died. So that's a rough attack. Having said that, given what's here, he should still succeed. The thing is, the enemy Red's bombers are going to be back up now. Red's got the smoke mortar. Now all he needs to do is buy that stadium and just smoke there. And because he's got this part, for the most part, I mean, I guess he will see that. Oh, please tell me he does something about that. He doesn't just let his Reservist die. So he's looking over here, so he's walking right past him. Oh, this is why I'm not in the army. I'd be that Reservisty. I'd be Samarine. I guess you can't read that because my face is in the way. It does say Samarine. Anyway. So, yeah, the tank is here. No! Just send it there! No, it's not going to be shooting all that time because it's got to go all the way around. If it just, you know, you've got a recon here, so you just bring it up here and start hitting people. But anyway, if you don't want to smoke the middle, you can send these through the forest. They do go slow, but, you know, you get to here, well then you can see, you know, then you're doing a lot, so it's worth it. He did notice. And yeah, you know, if your infantry's getting shot, what happened to the tank? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I've got really itchy ears for some reason. I don't know. I need to re-itch my ears before the game starts. And then... Tomcat moment, that. Although you notice he's not focusing the enemy. Oh my god. So, there goes 570 points. He came too close. The point is, it's got the long-range missile, so you don't fly over this, because there might be AA there. the chances of a no-vet OSA hitting you twice with a 30% ECM aircraft is low, but it does happen. See, the point is you don't want to fly where you think the AA is. We'll just wait for the infantry to show up. He is doing so. The Reservisti are coming. He needs recon. Recon is not forthcoming. And then, yeah, get the Reservisti in front. Yeah, so K needed some tanks, but hey, he got in. In the meantime, like, because these just aren't doing anything. Because he's like, well, if I go there, I get shot. Yeah, okay, so bring them wrapped. Go slowly through the forest, or just smoke all this. And he did buy the smoke mortar, but I get the impression, you know, he's looking at something else. So, at this point, well, you really want this fighting. So at this point, yeah, you would bring it back here and put it there, and then you can shoot unmolested. That is the real word. Oh, he's doing it. He is doing it. Harrier HE. Going for the KGB. There's no OSA here. Fighter's being brought over. For whatever reason, Blue's Eyehawk is here. You'd want it, like, there. Because... well... yeah. Well, like here, you know, I mean, the idea is you want to cover this while still covering the rest of the map, and you can do both with the Eyehawk, because the range is massive, so... you see that circle, right? So if you had it here, it would still sort of cover this. But I get that you just want to cover this a lot. So rocket helo's purchased, and there's no Shorad, so... that ain't great. Hopefully this guy doesn't get side shot. Estrella, he did. Needs recon. No recon. Although this is going to be a juicy kill. Oh, I see, it's going for the CV. Engine destroyed. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like that. Oh, he should have gone for the Eyehawk, actually. When he saw that shoot, this should have gone for the Eye, because now that's gone for 9 minutes. Whereas if it had killed the Eyehawk, it'd be back up in 3. So, should have gone for the Eyehawk. This is cool. Oh, he sold the transports. Well, he can't even move them. He can't even move them because he sold the transports. This is why I'm not in the army. They're like, boss, where's my body armor? Ah, I sold it. I got 20 points for that. But now we will surely lose. I wouldn't send the helo over to the Eyehawk, it might kill you. I mean, it's not got any ammo because he didn't put supply with it, but... well, did one of these die? How did that even happen? Oh, the Eyehawk probably shot it, actually. Yeah. So, heat round, so it doesn't get better the closer you get, and so on. I don't know where else you'd put it, really. He's going for the Eyehawk, which I think is smart. Sadly, that tank's probably going to see him. And, yeah, Red just not using these tanks. There's no way he gets these if they just move after every shot. So, the longer this goes on, the worse it gets for Red. Because Blue went for the, I only bring expensive units strategy. And eventually that stops being a problem because you just have so many units. Those Lav Mews are terrible, by the way. There's really no point bringing them. The opportunity cost is too high. So, oh, I got this unit, it's jamming the enemy arty, whoa! Yeah, and instead of that, you could bring, what, 4 more Lav 25s and just go kill the enemy arty. A lot of this game is about opportunity cost. So, in the deck reviews and stuff, I see, yeah, but the counter-battery radar can be useful. It's like, yes, but if you're bringing that, there's something else you're not bringing. And usually that is better. Obviously, you know, you can build whatever deck you want. You don't have to listen to me. Plenty of people don't. But the way I see it, you're playing the game anyway. I mean, if you're watching for entertainment, then, you know, you can sort of do what you want. But if you're playing the game anyway, you might as well try and be good at it. And if there are things that you see as kind of scummy, then okay. But the fact of the matter is, those things will be used against you sooner or later. So, you know, you can have your moral character in the video game. Wow, so moral. Or you can, or you can have fun sometimes at your opponent's expense. So usually you'd expect the Marine guys to bring the small, but he doesn't bring that. But the regular engineers are honestly not bad. Now that shock works. Shock and resolute is nice. A lot of times it's one or the other, which can be quite annoying. So yeah, the flanks are really, like, Blue is just not coping with this properly. He needs, like, a lav and a tank. The issue is he can't send a helo because the ZU will kill it. And so, like, none of his reinforcements are showing up. I guess he just bought loads of lavs. In the meantime, nothing is happening here. But yeah, I mean, he bought the smoke mortar like 10 minutes ago and then just sort of forgot. What he needs to do is buy a CV and just sit there. The smoke mortar will probably get counter-batteried, but, you know, if the game ends now, you lose, so you gotta do something. Okay, he's going for this. Yeah, okay, so he's going in for the town. And look, the disruption here has cost Blue a lot of reinforcements and a lot of time on the reinforcements that didn't die. And yeah, this is smart. Like, the Reservisti are not expensive. You can do this really quite cheaply. And Blue should be doing the same to Red. Just a Lavium, put it there. Bam, 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 bam. He's doing that thing where he flies over the Osa again. But yeah, whoa, now, well, there goes 300 points. He should have just immediately turned out here and he would have been fine, but, you know, he made a mistake. So, Blue doesn't have a stinger in here, so he kind of felt like he had to do that, but that's what the Harrier is for. It's for killing the helicopters. The Harrier rocket is for killing the helicopters. Right, it doesn't really do too much against infantry and stuff. It's a cheap anti-helo option. So, big clumping here. That didn't drop because of the smoke or because he changed targets. My nose is really itchy. I need to stop doing cocaine. Anyway, that's going to be a quadruple kill. So yeah, putting stuff in the church is great because it can see further, but generally as soon as it shoots, somebody's going to out it, so you got to move. So yeah, looks like Red's getting in. He's doing a good job. Blue's counter-attack is being disrupted too much. Does this have AT? You should put an AT in there. Or better yet in here, but you'd want to put one in there and put one in here. He's going for the church, which, okay, but like, what if there was somebody in here at any point? You would die, so immediately, so don't take that risk. So yeah, I just surrendered. I was going to say that the Zuni does quite a bit against infantry, but nothing against vehicles. So you got rank 218, MrBoxhead, versus rank 109K. So yeah, second Marine is not an easy div to play. 17Y is a lot worse though. But yeah, he didn't really use the tanks. The T-64s were sort of barely featured, but hey, a win's a win. So yeah, it was an entertaining game. But yeah, second Marine, don't rush. Don't rush. The helicopter thing is a nice meme. Maybe beat some players with the cheese, but generally you're weak in the early game, so you shouldn't be overextending, and you know, he lost 900 points worth of Tomcats, so that's not great. Anyways, I'll see you around. GG.